What it is, YouTube? It's your boy de-essing coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. So this is gonna be part 2, mixing with Nix using OZONE plugins. All right. So if y'all do like this video here today, we're gonna be mixing some dope pro vocals, some OZONE plugins that I like to use. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Keep suggesting more video ideas so we could keep going. And if you guys do want to support the channel, check the links down below to do that. Check the mastering presets, vocal templates, book a mix. I don't care. We're gonna get to these gems right now.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião, um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver um faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tabular na conta. Quantas vezes me deixaste na tua sombra? Cansei-me de cálculos que já nem tomo.
So I got an idea of what we're working here with today, and I want to talk about some OZONE plugins that I like to use. So the first one that I know a lot of people talk about is Neutron, and I like how Neutron is, to me, it's kind of almost like a channel strip because you have the EQ, you have the compressor, you have other tools like the gate, transient shaper, which is also great to sharpen up the vocals. So it's like a quick channel strip, and I love the sound of the EQ. A lot of the times people like to use it. So, just with this, rapper right here, he's singing in Portuguese. I know Portuguese has a good amount of S's and stuff like that. And now, depending on where you're from, if you're from Brazil or certain, countries that speak Portuguese, some is a nasally type of language, now, zão, now. You feel me? Like that. So I'm just trying to make sure I make that sound clean. I'm already kind of familiar with the language a little bit. So yeah, that's why I kind of did these EQ moves and I did a nice little shelf.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei consigo.
So just cleaning that up. After that, I use the compressor, and I like the compressor on the Neutron because you get the 3 modes, which is punch. It kind of has like a transient type of thing going on. The modern, which is for me the cleanest, and the vintage, which has like that little bit of honey ranch cream on top. For this mix specifically, I want it to be clean and modern and stuff like that. So I just use the modern mode, and as well, I use the fastest attack. I might just slow up the attack a little bit though. I might just slow it up. I don't want to pinch the vocal too much.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião, um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver um faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tabular na conta. Quantas vezes me deixaste.
So usually like my first level of compression will be something with a slow attack. I want all my transients to come through. That's the character of the vocal. And it just reminds me of like Tube Tech, CO1B, or LA2As, LA3As, where usually like historically, the very first layer of compression people usually put on is kind of like a soft attack compression, something that's slow that lets, like a friendly milkman that's walking through the door, a friendly DoorDash delivery driver that's, invited to come into the house. That first layer of compression, having a slow attack is usually good. Sometimes you might want to do a faster attack. I don't see a reason why you would do that. But if it's really about control, which some people might say, oh, that's why I gotta do fast attack, I just use a limiter at that point. You feel me? Sculptor. I don't really think that this plugin is always necessary to use in the beginning, but I kind of like plugins like this too because I feel like they add a little bit of life to the vocal, especially after you do like some compression that's going to reduce the dynamic range. A Sculptor is like a nice dynamic type of processor that's really going to add a little bit of that jumpiness to the vocal.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião, um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão.
So you see it's like kind of like taking off a little bit of low end, but it's also like boosting some type of high end. And it almost reminds me of like an upward soothe. I believe this is kind of like the same thing that's inside of the Ozone Clarity, a plugin that you guys know I use like crazy, you know? So after that, we have the Nectar de-esser, and this de-esser is weird as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is a cool de-esser, but for me, it's kind of weird. I wish I was able to have the other side of the band. Looks like it's damn near like a high shelf, like damn near a shelf. It sounds like a shelf. It feels like a shelf. You know, it doesn't let me control the other end of the de-esser. So that's the only critique I have. But after that, it sounds great.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não.
And because, like, you know, I understand that this is actually working on the whole top end. I actually use a split S. This is a standard plugin. You guys got to get it because this is doing my de-essing, my first layer of de-essing, where it's actually just like clip gaining. There's a difference between de-essing and clip gaining. This is clip gaining my shit. So by the time I get to this de-esser, I don't really got to do too much. You know, maybe like a dB or two, and it sounds not harsh.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não.
So yeah, it's going in there and doing the work for me. I love this plugin so much. One of the best plugins out. The brand new Applesoft or Split S, and yeah, it makes the de-esser work less and sound even better. Okay, so cool. After that, we have the C4, and you know I love using the C4. This is kind of emulating what the Sculptor was doing, which is like upwards processing, but this is one is a little bit more stagnant. It's not as dynamic as the other one, which is constantly working, the Sculptor. So yeah, just the same concept of multiband. I'm using this to clean up my low, but then when it comes to my high end and my high mid, it's actually getting a little bit of boost. You feel me? It's like a balloon, like an airhead that's getting a little bit of that extra hair. It's like a Savage Patch Kid. You feel me? It's adding that sweetness on top of it. Sour Patch Kid.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver um faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tá colar na conta. Quantas vezes me deixaste na tua sombra?
So you see, I'm using the multiband like an additive processor. Then the SSLE, this is not an isotope plugin, but we know what it's doing.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão.
Really kind of clearing the airways, kind of like when you go to the airport and there's that guy with the neon vest on, the orange, and he's just kind of like clearing the airways, just telling the one airplane, okay, you can go here, this other airplane don't go here. You know, it's making space, it's making room, it's making a lane for us to not hear more of the high mid, which is going to be spiced up by using this Ozone exciter. And I love to use this on vocals too, because I have different picks of saturation and I get to pick where I want to apply it at. Another plugin that would kind of be like a cousin of this one is like Spectre. You feel me? Where Spectre lets you pick that saturation in what area you want to put it in exactly. You feel me? Rather than some other saturators that make you do a wideband. You feel me? So yeah, I just only did a little bit of tape saturation, and this tape kind of sounds bright, and I did it from everything mostly in the mid-range and up, you know?
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar para ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver um faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tá colar na conta. Quantas vezes me deixaste na tua sombra?
So you hear just a little bit of that tape saturation adds a great presence, and also that density, that fullness, you feel me? It's like the cotton ball becomes like a big thick cotton ball rather than when it's just a plant, your cotton plant. You feel me? You know how like a cotton ball, like you know when the cotton's all together, it makes a nice solid ball. But when it like the cotton, you start to rip it apart, it's just like a small thread. You feel me? So that's what that plugin is doing, is bringing that density, that cohesiveness, that because it's together, it makes it feel thick like a cotton ball. All right. So after that, we have the ozone stabilizer, and this is kind of just like a soothe golf boss type of plugin. You have the difference between shape and cut. That's why I kind of sometimes prefer over soothe, because I can instantly with a click of button turn it into a boosting plugin. So that for me, that's pretty good, because sometimes I don't know if I actually want to cut. Maybe I might want to boost, but just having it to click as a button is just great. So yeah, I like to pop up the default preset on the ozone stabilizer on my lead vocal really towards the end. You know, that now that I've done that layer of saturation and I've done the upwards with the C4 and everything like that. So now that would be the time where I kind of do like my last final bit of cutting, kind of like your barber. We know when he finished like lining your shit up, now towards the end, now he start to look at it a little bit and be like, okay, maybe I missed that spot, maybe I missed that spot, and finalize your shit. You feel me? It's like spraying the fucking alcohol on the vocal pretty much. So yeah.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar pra ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião um transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver um faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tá colar na conta. Quantas vezes me deixaste na tua sombra?
So this is like de-harshing the vocal and honestly just rounding it off. This is my favorite trick lately. I haven't even been using parallel compression all year, even though we just got into the year. But I just pop up my CLA 76 right on the aux or the vocal track, and I just use the manual blend. And for me, it just fucking sounds better than putting it through an aux. It's quicker than putting it through an aux. But I just love how, like, just slapping it right on directly, it adds that goddamn presence. It adds that perfect presence. That presence that we all love,
Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Sozinho, oh, oh, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, nigga. Sozinho, oh, oh, prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Sozinho, oh, oh.
To touch up on something too, also on my effects, this is just the basic ass shit. Sunset chamber. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. All of my effects do hit another stabilizer, together. So when they're all piling up together, some mid range gets cut out.
Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby.
Helps the effects be super clean. And last plugin we're gonna look at as we get out of here is Ozone Clarity. Crisp Air preset is my favorite one. Rather than using boosting the EQ, it's using the brightness that's already there inside of the actual vocal recording and just expanding it upwards so it sounds less harsh and super bright.
Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Sozinho, oh, oh, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, nigga. Sozinho, oh, oh.
So it knows the boost, but then like it avoids the harsh word, versus if you did a regular EQ, it would just splat. You feel me? So that's pretty much the end of the video here today. I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Support the channel. We're going to keep dropping these gems continuously. And I just want to say appreciate your YouTube gang. Suggest more video ideas down below. And I just want to say I appreciate y'all now. Peace.